pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
See, the minutes was not here.
Yeah,
but
I
they
didn't
did-
see any. Mr. Chairman, I approve, I make a motion to approve the minutes from Tuesday, August 20th, as presented. I second, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries 2-0. Matt, what do you have for us?
Got two requisitions here. First one is for solid waste, and it was, to repair an oil leak on the rubber tire loader out of Effingham. And I was telling the story earlier that they found the main cap laying in the oil pan. But luckily it didn't hurt the current. They put new mains in it and put it back together.
3,069.89.
The second one was for a 8-foot by 40-foot aluminized culvert for 298th and Osborne Road. And I've got a couple pictures here. The pilings are rotted out. We need to get that put in probably as soon as possible.
You dropped the ones, you should change the ones, drop the ones.
They did.
But they changed it, checked it out.
Where is this 298th and Osborne?
It's, you remember Ron Baker lives? Just up and curve back to the west, and if you take that road straight instead of going back north there, it's right off of the Osborne Road right here.
Yeah, we went and looked at that.
Yeah.
Last, the road is just, yeah, this one, you didn't need to put that right.
Right, no permit needed.
Yeah, it's like 400 something.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah. Was it
That's
640
150.
now? Or is it 640 that we're?
Yep.
One per month.
That's one positive thing, they just told us before that other deal.
Oh, KDHE.
No, the water department, you got Kate, there's no Kate out there, but whoever gives the permit, they have to put the two tubes up there on that, Cherokee. So, what is it, Cherokee? Yeah, that's a week later, they told us we didn't have to permit.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
They changed their rules,
Mm-hmm.
just to aggravate us.
That's all I have.
Check on that bridge down there.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's if you wanted a road closed sign, posted or something.
Yeah, they still things fast, we put them up down there, so that I'll put them on.
I think bottom line is probably complaining because you can't go cut through there to get to the farm. But we told them, it's gonna be a while before you have to fix what you have to resort.
Hopefully, it won't be too much longer, we'll be able to get started on it. Send the permits and steel comes in.
Yeah, so what's your timeline? I know you're busy this week, paving, chip sealing, so what?
On, River Road or?
Yeah, River Road and
Yeah, we're,
Country Club, yeah,
planning on, if we get the Haydite tomorrow like scheduled, we'll go up and finish, Pratt Road and Country Club Road Wednesday. River Road, we should be up there, if not next week, the week after that, we'll be putting our tiles in up there. As soon as we get done with the tiles, we'll,
Let's get grabbing it, 'cause I think, you know, just
start putting base in there.
Yeah.
But, there will, you know, the road won't be shut, there will always leave at least one lane open.
Are you guys putting down the base up there before you probably start paving, or?
Yeah. We'll put the laterals in, and as soon as we get that done, we'll start putting the base there.
We probably need to notify those businesses up there, services, and those. But, of course, that one thing's on the city side, is that for a lot of folks.
Yeah, services knows about it. I talked to them,
That'd be
that's
a
when we get
little
the rock, but
That'd be-
like I told them, we'll have, you know, there'll always be one lane open.
Okay. Yeah, we need to probably get that, otherwise you're gonna run into major traffic during harvest, so.
Will that have a chance to seal down, you know, I think 30 days, you're gonna have grain start coming out of the field.
Yeah. We just have to, I mean, it just depends how fast we get it laid down. You know, I'd like to get it sealed this year. I mean, I guess if we start running out of time, we can go back and seal it, next spring. But, you know, I'd like to get it sealed this fall still.
I just didn't know how long that's the thing, set up for heavy traffic starting, heavy loads. Can plug it over, that's.
And what else do you have, what other projects do you have going on next week?
Nothing, we've got just a little, asphalt work to do, nothing
Okay,
big.
yeah, probably sooner to get going on that, cause it may
Yeah.
get the thing knocked out.
Right. Right.
I know at that last, county city meeting, they said that they would do some of our overlay if we do some of their chip and seal something, anything ever come of that?
No, they were gonna have us go up and do River Road again, this summer, but then they called me one day and said that they decided they weren't gonna do it. That's all I've heard about it.
We need to have it, this in the county meeting, probably.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while, let's see.
Yeah, we
Set a date.
several things, yeah, we just need to set a date here, get everybody together.
Mhm.
We got several things we need to discuss and stuff, so, yeah, see what works. I think it's our time, most of the time, everything, start there. Just check what we're not doing, what's in.
Mhm.
It may work good for when we have one right after commission, you know, because that one, they won't have, or we can do one after their, you know, council meeting or something too, I mean, everything will
For me on Mondays, every other Monday.
Mr. Sherman, he brought that agreement before, does he need to be here when we do that, or is it pretty?
But Pat's made some.
Pat made some changes on,
Okay.
sent it back to them,
Okay.
and
See what they do.
get the response from them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the things that he brought up in the work session are good to consider and see what they need to make it work.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, again.
No problem.
No funds warrant,
It's to cancel a warrant or to issue one for
okay.
the hospital. They lost, or it was lost, stolen, or didn't get to them.
Okay, so I need a motion for resolution number 2013-1370, to cancel check number 55750 in the amount of $412 issued March 8th, 2013, payable to Ashland Hospital. It's been lost, stolen. We're gonna be presented for payment.
So moved.
A second.
Have we checked with the bank, has it cleared the bank?
It hasn't, yeah, I mean, we, reconcile them, so it hasn't come through us yet, so. We'll check with the bank too, but.
I think we need to check with the bank, but I'll second it, if we can get it, check to make sure they did.
This cancels the other one and reissues the other one, so.
Yeah, you can cancel it as a.
I know, what, am I are we 100%
budget hearing?
Yes. I went through, is that what you're after, or do you?
I just have a couple questions, and I'm sure it's all probably in relationship to the budget. One of them was and maybe I read it wrong, but you guys are considering moving the recycling center to the transfer station?
Yeah, you mean like, are you talking about the one on the west side? Yeah, we were discussing that a little bit earlier. RSP, the company that we contracted out to do that, is ceasing operations there, at the end of this week. And so what we're working to try and do is to try and get some containers, some single stream containers set up there. Probably somewhere, I think the city of Ashland was suggesting 4th and Main corridors, and then have one out at Effingham where people could just, at least, they're creatures of habit, so going to the recycling center, even though where they have to separate everything out, they just put it all into one container. So it'd be a good lead into whatever's preceding, plus it'd be a location.
So it's still gonna be a recycling center, or?
More or less, I mean.
Just a dump off.
Yeah, so there's gonna be like a 40-yard roll-off where it's a single stream container where they put their cardboard, tin cans.
All in the same container?
All in the same container.
Well, I was under the impression, and that's why I really wanted to know before that they were gonna have any recycling there. Because we take all of our corrugated cardboard, at least once a week out there. And I thought, that's how difficult that's gonna be if I was under the impression that everything was gonna move to the transfer station. But if they're gonna have, and I was thinking of, for convenience, and not for my convenience necessarily, but generally the population, that's about as convenient a place as we could possibly have it, and I just didn't know why we would wanna eliminate an element of convenience, and someone said, and I don't know if this is, that you guys are gonna have the ambulance work out of that building then?
Yeah, we're looking into some possibilities with that possibly being, housing ambulance. We've got the south side of that building dedicated to rescue squad.
Right, I know that, yeah.
So we're leasing currently from the hospital, and they've indicated that they would probably wanna do something else with that location, Third Street.
Well, which leads me to my next suggestion, and I don't know whether you would consider it or not, but where the old, rural fire station was there behind old F.P. Gearing's place, that building is for sale. And, well, I don't know whether they could break that out or not. You wouldn't wanna buy the whole, I wouldn't suggest the county spend that kind of money, but, as far as usefulness and,
I looked at the thing, you gotta have living quarters. You'd have to about buy that house or whatever it is, that office building, and turn that into a living quarter. You wouldn't have enough space in that other building. That's just a three-bay garage, isn't it?
I don't know. I think it is 3, but I mean, you're gonna have to put living quarters wherever you go.
Exactly, but you got a lot more space out at that's a lot bigger building at the recycling center than that building is. That's a lot bigger. It's way more space than we need. You can park ambulances too deep in it, you can't,
I don't know, I just thought it'd be, was more looking into, because, I don't know, I guess the people who do recycle already, and I don't know if we're unique or a small group, but, I've heard comments that saying, we can't get out there if it was all moved to the transfer station. And that's why I just wanted to make sure that was on your table, that if you could put those ambulances in, how many ambulances are we gonna house in the city?
There'll be at least 3.
There's 3 of them housed in the city?
Yeah, we only have one stationed at Effingham.
So we have 4 ambulances?
Total, yeah. We used to have 5. We used to have 5 ambulances in the county, total. Not just us, I mean, the volunteer service, we had 2, and then there were 3 with that.
There'll probably be 4 ambulances and a flight, whatever you call it, flight car, whatever it is.
So a little red Jeep
Yes.
thing, that it is?
Paramedic, yeah.
Paramedic thing, yeah. So there'd be 4. I think that's what the original plans, when they were talking, because we just had a meeting with Tex and Roger did, who's gonna help design it.
Why, he's already got a design, I think.
Pardon?
He's got a design.
Does he have a design?
Yeah, I got a,
Oh, he did, we didn't, I guess I didn't get it, but anyway, that building out there is big enough to have, house the entrance is too deep, and still have living quarters on the back side. That other one wouldn't have enough room for living.
I don't know how big that building is. I was just trying to keep recycling as close to the users as you possibly can, and that's really where I was coming from, because, like I said, it sounds like it's selfish on my part. We're still gonna probably recycle, but we have a lot of cardboard at our place, and we don't want to put in our dumpster and then have it hauled someplace else and just cost us much more money. So we've been recycling, before anything ever came up.
As of right now, recycling costs more than trash.
Well,
You just probably know that.
Yeah, well, we're still gonna have it, out, we were just talking about today, we're still gonna have those containers, you'll still be able to stick your cardboard in those containers, you'll be able to stick everything.
okay, well, the way they have it set up now is, they have a
It's all
place where you
separated.
put corrugated cardboard, and I don't know how practical it would be to maintain that, whether you have to have somebody staffing it out there or not, I don't know.
If you're isolating that stuff, you're gonna have to have somebody be able to bale it, you'd have to have somebody like separate staff.
Who's the RSP anyway?
That's the Paydens out of, really out of Ford,
He does not want it.
Hiawatha area, they do some trash hauling services, they've got a facility up in St. Joe, but as long as I've ever known, the county always contracted with them to, handle the recycling center.
Mm-hmm.
We furnish the building, the equipment, and all the costs, and they get the proceeds, we pay them the subsidy, and they get whatever value of the recycled products, we don't get that down there. So it's total liability to us
Mm-hmm.
for the recycling, and that's why I'm saying it costs us to recycle.
Oh, well, I don't doubt that. It costs to do everything.
Yeah,
But I was just trying to keep it
sure.
as close to the people who are using it, and, I was fearful that was gonna completely disappear, and it was all gonna go out to the transfer station. And,
Well, it'll end up out there eventually, but, because it'll get thrown into a bigger container at that point, maybe. But as of right now, from our discussion during the work session, there will be dumpster down, what we said, 4th Street.
Yeah, Fourth and Main, I think there's gonna be, one 40-yard roll-off, for single stream, so every cardboard, tin cans, aluminum cans, one of those, and there'll be one for glass as well. And then, at the current, rescue building, current recycling center, for at least, a while, until stuff gets going, we're gonna have the same setup. We have one for glass right now, that'll stay, and they'll have a big 40-yard roll-off.
and that's what we do too, we're probably stupid, particularly, because we go through our trash and we take all the beer bottles and everything out, and we recycle those too, so, but, and I don't know, it takes a lot of our time to do it, but I've always assumed that we were making some benefit to everybody when we did it, so.
The only savings you're gonna get, the one container out there, they definitely are gonna charge us for the glass. Now, if we get another one, they're gonna charge us to haul the second one off. So by sorting the glass off and not putting it in solid waste, you are saving.
Okay, well, we do that, because we have people, and it's not that hard, it's not hard for us to do that, but I just didn't wanna have this disappear. That was my fear, was it disappearing, from the people that, like I said, we know the people that are doing it, and, I thought, and that's why they said they were closing, there was a sign out there, I guess, that said they were closing Friday.
Yeah.
And I thought, closing?
Well, we're still just gonna have, I think it's just the easiest to put it, just where we're currently at.
So people are used to it,
Yeah.
and have the other one downtown. We need to get the one at the recycling first, and then make.
Could it be like in the parking lot of Fourth and Main, is that what you're talking?
That's what it
Yeah, I haven't asked.
Have we got the official okay from the city yet? Have you heard it?
All I heard, I thought Trey had indicated to Chase was Fourth and Main area, so I'm not sure if that's.
Across from Blueski's.
I'm wondering if it's near like Alps or something like that, but that's, I don't know if that's that parking lot area. I don't know if that's where it's at. I was told somewhere in the vicinity of Fourth and Main, so I don't know. That's just what I could be wrong on that.
Is this gonna be one?
Two, there'd be one for glass and there'd be one for single stream recycling. So we can't contaminate glass with the other single.
No, I understand that. I just was curious more than anything else. Well, that's good to know because
Yeah.
that it isn't gonna, I thought it was gonna just disappear. And I thought, man, that can't be doing anybody that, particularly the people who are, there are some people who are very conscientious about that. And then I'm not patting myself on the back of my wife. She drives me nuts doing it. Just put that in the minutes, please. But she's recycled, and I said, she says, we can't, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So.
We probably need to communicate. We're trying to finalize some prices on.
Okay, yeah,
on,
because the way the paper read looked like it was gonna just close or move. And,
Eventually it will in time.
so there won't be, just because.
We probably, if that, there'll probably always be one, if the city, agrees, we'll probably at least have that one down. It really depends on also what their future.
What their concern was with keeping it out there is congestion, if the ambulances need to respond to a call and there's trucks or cars parked out there, that's the reason.
But we can position the containers so the cars,
Yeah,
we can keep it
that northwest corner.
so it'll be open. I mean, we could make it have a lane so that it will have to be open.
Some of that stuff will be cleaned out. There'll be more pallets and the household hazardous waste building. I mean.
Well, yeah, but Wes wanted to keep that, we could move it, we can still move that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, you really kind of answered my questions. I just didn't want to have it disappear. And what I fear is with people with just recycling, if they had to travel, I know that's not that far, but to some people, people have to walk more than 20 feet inside my door, they go to the next door.
Yeah, and I appreciate those people that my mom's the same way as your wife, she'll recycle pop bottles, I'll take them down and burn them on the pot on fire, and burn them. But, in all honesty, recycling is costing us a lot of money. I mean, it's costing us money, and even under our agreement with Devonball, they're gonna, even if we look at single source recycling, then they're costing us a little more to haul that off than if you put it into solid waste. It's just the commodity price rebate is just not, now cardboard, certain your recycling commodities are worth a whole lot more. So cardboard is one of them.
And maybe they didn't tell you this, did the company that's doing the recycling give you an indication of what their tonnage was, or how much they were
Oh, the RSP?
RSP.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I've been wanting to find that out.
Because, I mean, if
For a while.
if they were making money, I think they would make money on cardboard, because that's one of those commodities that are recycled
Everything
regularly.
was sorted. Everything was sorted out
What
there.
we've seen, or did Mr. Mize tell us what, that he sold, was it $12,000 or something like that?
I'm trying to think about it. It's a pretty good price they're getting for your baled,
Mhm.
those baled.
Yeah, they were making money off of it, and they never did that prior to this assessment fee.
So, I mean, and that's one reason, I mean, I was assuming, and I didn't know who made the money, but I was assuming that instead of taking our corrugated cardboard to the dump and just having it hauled someplace else and then buried, that it was better off to have it go out there, get bundled and reused somewhere, and if somebody's gonna make money off of it, more power to them, I don't care who they were, but,
Yeah.
because I know if we would probably quit recycling, if we had to drive it all the way out there.
To the transfer station.
Right, but if you have something there or somewhere else in the, one on each end of town or something along that line, if you have one downtown, I mean, we can use that one as well. Just as long as we have some place to,
Well, I think the long-term plan is always to have one down there.
Mhm.
have one downtown, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well,
I
that's,
think that's definitely the long term. I mean, we come near, I think, and don't take this as official, because we haven't,
No.
I think we've come near just, doing away with one of the recycling center, if it was gonna hamper, if we do get the ambulance put out there, but we would definitely keep one downtown. And here again, it'll depend on the future, what the city does with their single source recycling program too, so how that all plays out, so.
Okay, well, you answered my question.
Well, yeah, we're gonna try to.
I'm not up in arms, I'm
You'll
not up in arms.
sub-location, you'll sub-location.
I'm not up in arms about it, I told my wife, I said, I said, I'll just go find out.
Well, I just saw that sign out there Saturday, I just saw that they had a sign out there saying.
Well, I tell you what, at this point, the people that are actively doing that, it's getting disappointed a lot. And us being one, and we're a very big, and not only that, we've cut down since we've done it, we've cut down one of our pickups per week at our west store because of recycling. So.
I think what's went out there in front of it could be a potential that we may do away with their services, and then all of a sudden, they're telling us they're quit.
Yeah, because they give us the indication they would stay, and Matt was up there, like Jeff up here, Matt said they would be willing to stay another month, and we told them that'd be fine, tell them to go ahead, and then they decide now they're gonna go on vacation, they just,
So,
I don't know the folks, so are they always folks or something, they're gonna maybe retire?
well, well, no, Rodney's, he's just about my age.
And elderly is a relative term, you know? I used to think somebody
I
my
was
age,
old, Bill.
I used to think somebody my age was elderly. Yeah,
I still do.
thanks, Pat. Put that in a minute, will you?
No, the first year, you can transition all this, the first year's gonna be marketing a little bit fair, but we wanna try to accommodate. At the same time, we're gonna be gathering data as to what it's costing and the effectiveness of it, Our hopes would be if the recycling stuff got more valuable, why, we can, it's gonna be justifiable to have something, but, as of right now, it's costing us to recycle.
You guys take aluminum cans out there?
Yeah, they do now, but it'll all be in the single source now. The crushing out there is not very good. A lot of equipment's just about shot. That's the other thing. If you're gonna restart it back up, we probably have to spend $40,000-$50,000 at least. That may be way.
Is that, do they own the equipment out there now?
No, everything out there is ours.
yeah, ask the county on all of it. We pay the utilities, pay them $1,500 a month. Yeah, so, we're pricing some,
Maybe I'll make it off.
well, with the projections, just kind of what we're looking at the containers, I think we'll be saving some money by just even going to the single stream containers, and those will be a good gateway or segue into, the city of Atchison with their single stream recycling. Probably a good bridge in between, what we've got now and what we're going to.
Just the early projections, Chasers is up here. It looks like it might cost us $12,000. We're paying $18,000 to them to do these, and that's not figuring what we may get. If we get some return on the payback under our present agreement, if we would go to this single source recycling, they will pay us a portion of the value of that back. So we might get 20, 30, we may get some of that back. So.
Mhm.
So it's not a big dollar savings, but it's some savings.
Well, in any business venture, sometimes it's not how much you take in, sometimes how much you can save.
Right.
So, penny here, penny there, pretty you got dollars, so.
Well, if you can save $1,000 on 10 different things, that's $10,000. That means a lot to me. $10,000 takes me a long way.
And me as well.
It is 1:30, so I entertain a motion to go into public hearing for 2014 budget.
So, go ahead, Sean. I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chris?
You know, all received copy of the budget,
Yes.
and, unless you have any questions or...
No, I think I bombarded you with that question, I'm happy that you want to 10 at this point on it, so.
Why don't you just get we have people here in the audience and the press, just, let's reiterate the numbers that we're looking at for 2014.
The increase in the mill levy for 2014 will be at .63 mils, which equates to about $7.25 on a $100,000 home in the county. And the main increases areas for road and bridge and sheriff department and debt services. Road and bridge addressed the purchase of a grader, rehabbing the road projects. The IT shows a huge increase, but that increase is offset by transfers coming into that department, so there's really no notable increase in that department,
Just really a transfer
just by transfers.
for network upgrades.
Yeah, that includes the phone system and computers and everything, and the way we're reimbursing that department. We're actually billing each of the individual departments and showing the reimbursement as an income into the IT, so that's what offsets that amount. It should be a good budget for you guys to work with in 2014.
Any questions from audience on budget? Bill?
I just have a question. As far as expenditures for this budget year versus the expenditures from the last budget year, what's the percentage of increase in actual revenue being spent or budget to be spent?
33,000.
I think that's the number you had come up with, about $33,000 total more in spending.
$33,000 on a budget of, what's the total budget?
Your total budget's about $15 million.
Which includes, of course.
It includes all the
nursing home.
nursing home, which is $3 million.
Yeah, the nursing home is, the revenues that are generated in the nursing home essentially take care of itself. The trust also involved there, but we have to count that as expenditures
No, I understand.
as part of the overall budget.
And that also includes your solid waste, which is an enterprise fund, so it pays for itself. It also includes the Joint Communications Committee Board, that fund, that department, and that is totally sales tax funded.
And that's, this year's budget is going to be pulled out separate so we can follow the money trail.
Last year, when they did a lot of consolidation, they pulled solid waste, joint communications, elections, road and bridge, ambulance, a whole bunch of them into the general fund. And that gets confusing when you start talking, you have sales tax money going into those funds. So this year, we pulled it out and brought it back into an enterprise fund. It's listed as a non-levy fund in the budget. So no fund dollars go towards the solid waste or the joint communications. And no levy money goes towards the senior village. So that's the double thing.
Well, there is the 10,000.
Well, yeah, 10,000 that we have to stack over.
Statutorily, there's 10,000, what we have, we
But the total increase from budgeted money is 33,000, is that right?
Page, I think I told you, 7, maybe.
I think so.
I don't have last year's budget with me right here, let's look it up.
What's in that? Because it shows current year 2013, 9.259, and the proposed budget is 9.292. Look at page 7.
That'd be just the general fund, which is kind of different because you've also got the, all those transfers you had last year, down to expenditures.
I do have one more question, is this the year that will the solid waste assessment that we all had this last year, will it disappear off that revenue's non-existent now?
Would you like what you did?
It is not reflected in this 2014 budget.
Yeah,
Yes.
not reflected.
That will be non-existent?
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna discuss that here probably.
Yeah, we may not pass it yet till we get all the interlocal agreements. We got interlocal agreements going out because all these cities have agreed they're gonna give us, you know, a certain percentage. And once that's really all accomplished, we wanna have that done definitely by the 1st of October. That, we presently got a $30 max on it right now. It's half of what it was last year. And the only reason that was put in is because we had to have some kind of revenue source until Solid Waste Committee come up with their other proposal. And so now, we're in a position with this proposal of our scales, which they're starting to build today, goes in and we'll be ready by first off, that'll be repealed.
Which is the segue to my next question is, do you have a calculated, amount of revenue that you're gonna receive in tipping fees? Do you have an estimate? Is it gonna be?
Yes, and I think, Chris, you might interject, but the way we looked at it is we took the sales tax revenue projections, and we're dedicating, we're roughly projecting about 61%.
About 69.
69%. So we wanted to try and keep that tipping fee as low as we can. So we're, if you remember the discussions with the cities in Atchison County, we were looking at a minimum of 41% of their sales tax revenue collections would be given directed to us for joint communications and solid waste, and we're dedicating roughly 69% of what we generate towards that to try and keep those tipping fees as low as possible. So that funds all of joint communication, and a good portion of the solid waste transfer station.
It will take care of solid waste with the 41. Every city at the last county summit agreed. Huron wouldn't make a commitment for sure, but when you look at the amount, their total amount collected was minute, but all other cities agreed to a minimum of 40, at least, and our interlocal agreement will say at least 41% of the their sales tax collection. The city of Lancaster said they're gonna give 100% now, you know, so whether they do or not, we'll see.
Okay, and which leads to my next question. You guys are just following me just great here. The amount of revenue that the county receives directly from the state for that 1 cent sales tax that's collected, is that all going to be directed, 100% of that be directed to solid waste, joint communications?
69%.
69%?
The solid waste committee wanted us to commit at least 41%, like all the cities. And we said, no, we're gonna give more.
Well, which is, in 1993, when the sales tax was initiated, and I was on the committee that did that, and this is probably the most disturbing part to me, was to make sure that we didn't have tipping fees at so people would not throw the trash in the ditches, they wouldn't try to burn it, they would have it all out, so that's why we passed the sales tax, to fund that. And now, it seems like we're robbing some of those funds, and we're never gonna have a tipping fee. And I think there's going to be, and it may not happen the first year, but when people start saying, I gotta pay to dump my trash, they're gonna dump it in the ditch behind somebody's cornfield. Now, that's why I'm a little disturbed by that fact that the sales tax that was passed exactly for that use is now being, 69% of it is, and my own personal opinion is I think that that's a misdirection of the money. And I don't know that it's costing more than what you guys are receiving to operate those two entities, and I want them to operate efficiently and environmentally safe and all those things. But I also believe that, all in all, the tipping fee is going to be something people are gonna say, now we have to pay to, and which is, the people like myself, who recall, the reason that sales tax was enacted was to avoid this exact same thing. And I'm disturbed by that, and I believe a lot of people in the county are disturbed by that, because that's why we did it. And I'm not on anybody's committee. This is me, who was on the committee in 1993, and a lot of those people in '93 had passed away. And,
And it was passed, that 1 cent goes, but there's nothing there said that somebody could keep a certain portion of it, did they? But by statute, you see, the whole process, the method was, that's a county general use tax. So legally, it can be distributed like it is right now. I mean, that's where we're hung. If all that that we wouldn't even be here if that whole 1 cent was dedicated. You'd have a surplus. And it could be used for other things in the county to lower property tax. But as of the way it was voted, under a general county use sales tax, that's the way it's divided up.
Interlocal agreement, it wasn't done
Interlocal
through
agreement,
legislation.
right. It had to be done through legislation.
but the ballot said, when people voted it in, said, these funds will be used for joint communications and solid waste operations. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not gonna defend the city and their portion, the way they're doing it, where they're doing it. And I would say the same thing to the city, the same way, is that you're not following what the voters wanted. And that is disturbing to me. And that's why people kind of get aggravated with all these kind of little things. And whether you can do that legally, I'm no lawyer, and I don't claim to be, but I will tell you what the intent was, and I think now we've changed it. And I just don't think that's right.
Well, this has been going on for years. This has been going on for
I
a
was
decade
on
or more.
I was on the city commission, I know. In fact, when I was on the city commission, I'm the one that said, where's this money going? And nobody knew where it was going, and that's all we wanted to know, was where it was going. And it turned into kind of unfortunately, a barrier between city and county, and it shouldn't be. It should be collectively, mutually make this thing work kind of thing, and it's evolved entirely different. But,
A lot of people did misinterpret it too. I mean, because you can talk to some people out in our area and say, well, if this is a county sales tax, the county should get all of it, but that's not the way it is.
And I don't know why it ended up being divided by the formula that it's divided by. That I do not know.
County general use, because of the way the state statute gets what they call a county. Believe me, Bill, that's one of the things I ran on for this. And I spent time in Topeka and trying to I thought this was pretty simple, because when I read the thing, county sales tax is a county sales tax, the county should get it. Well, no, this is a county general use. And there is a formula which highly favors municipalities. They will get way more than their share of the percentage. Those of us that live in the unincorporated area, we get no kickback from the sales tax. 100% of ours go, whatever the county decides to use it for, it goes for that.
But the county gets $790,000 a year.
The county does, right. But those of the unincorporated, but the cities didn't get a kickback too, pretty good kickback too, but I don't get that. I don't get a right to say what I want my sales tax used for.
Well,
Shouldn't I get a portion of mine back too?
who's getting it back? You mean the city?
The cities get a portion of that back from the county sales tax.
But don't they turn to give it to you guys though?
41%. 41%. That wasn't in the original agreement, was it?
See, I thought you would know all this, because if my memory recalls, I think you were on the city commission when your lawyer found this loophole and changed this. So we should be asking you questions about this. You asking us.
Not when I was on city commission, because when I was on city commission and I came in, first year I was worked on our budget, you're kind of a neophyte, you don't know what you're really doing. The second year, you know what you're doing. And I asked a very simple question. We had this in and out. And I said, what is this money? And it was money that we were getting, at that time, we were getting a check. The next morning, we'd write a check and we'd give it to the county. Never asking any questions, never knowing where it was going. And quite frankly, we found out that there was part of the money for that fund went to build some of this jail. And
That was only done later when they brought up the question, but it paid off quicker, didn't it?
I didn't say it was the wrong thing to do. I'm just saying that wasn't the intent of the fund. The intent of the fund was to make sure we didn't have tipping fees. And I still think that should be the focus, and should be your focus, since you guys manage the landfill. You should make that landfill customer friendly. And the fact that there's all this money out there, whether I still think the tipping fee, and I mean, obviously, it's not gonna make any difference now because you've already got the scale being installed, which I don't think is the right way to do that, but that's, and maybe I'm, you know, $8 short. But,
Well,
and,
we tried the assessment fee and that didn't work, so now we go to the tipping fee. And I think those that complained about the assessment fee are gonna wish they had the assessment fee back. But this is what they asked for, this is what they want, this is what we were told.
well, I don't know why we don't take the money that was originally designed to do those things, because there's enough money to do that.
If everybody paid 100%.
There's,
If everybody's.
even,
They get 412 from the city and they get roughly 900 some thousand. If you could go down there and get them to give us this extra 500,000.
I don't know if they get, I don't know what the number is they get, so I can't make that point. All I know is, but with 790,000, 412,000, and we can't operate our solid waste and joint communications with over $1 million.
It's,
That's about 1.3, I think.
1.3 to 1. There's only been 1 year. Last year, the first year, I seen that they didn't have to transfer money in from somewhere else to subsidize that. I've looked at it, Bill.
From the city?
No, we've had transfer money from other funds to help cover a potential shortfall.
Well, I mean, it should be the city's responsibility as well to fund that, to.
We don't have any control
over that, though.
Huh?
We don't have any control over that.
We have no control.
State statute gives them that authority to retain that money
So if-
for their own general use.
If you think they ought to be paying more over to the county, then
That's,
fine, go talk to them.
that's where if you could go back in time, if it would've gone through the legislature, instead of saving money or time or whatever was thought of doing an interlocal agreement, it would've made things
And
right.
by the way, I'm not defending the city
Yeah.
by any sense, because.
Oh, no.
When I was on the commission, all we wanted to know was what was actually costing to do this,
Mhm.
and we couldn't get, at that time, and maybe you have a much better answer today on what it actually costs to do these things, but we couldn't get an answer from the county at the time. In fact, the city ended up auditing the county for those funds, so we would know what we were supposed to pay.
But that audit turned out to have the same figures that our audit had. I mean, it matched exactly the county's audit, but the city didn't like the county's audit, though. And, you know, our auditor was too old. I mean, there was a lot of discussion about those things, but there's certainly a lot of history.
Oh, no.
And the audited figures are online, because that's where I got, you can get on our website and get the audited figures.
That when the city audited?
No, ours, the county audit.
Oh, I'm not questioning the
But I mean,
county
that'll
audit,
tell you what
but this was back in
It'll
2000.
tell you what it costs to run the landfill, the joint communications, they each have a separate account, it'll show you.
Well,
Whether it's a shortfall or.
at the time, we were trying to just get, because we were paid exactly what the county would have needed to fund the difference. And I do believe that the right thing the city commission should do is continue to do that.
And I agree with you, but why should you get to hold some back and I don't get to hold any of mine back?
Who's money?
Me, I'm out in the unincorporated area. I have Mary's in the unincorporated area. Bill's in the unincorporated. We have no say, we have no revenues, but any of that money come back to us where we want to give it to our townships or whatever to use. It's the municipalities that get the extra kickback after the county gets a certain percentage, which we get less than half of it. It's all the other 5 incorporated areas get it, based on a formula, they get a certain percentage back. I don't get that right. 100% of my money is going into the sales tax use, whatever it's used for. Now, if you want to tell me that's fair, fine. I don't think
Well,
it's fair.
just remember that everybody is a county member.
I know.
I don't get anything as a county member either.
But you're getting the benefit by living in the city, because they're getting to withhold some of that sales tax money, and I don't get that right.
But as a county citizen, you and I are on the same page.
That part of it, yeah. But I still don't have any access to that surplus sales tax money. Do I? Yeah. Well, it's pretty easy to figure out.
Well, I still think that,
I agree with you on that, I agree with you.
I don't think there should be a tipping fee, and I mean, I know the issue's mute because it's already been decided, but
There's a lot of research put into it, you know, by the solid waste committee, and, I mean, tipping fees aren't anything new. I mean, there are a lot of communities that are using it.
Well-
There's also no correlation too. If you wanna get down to sales tax, there's not a whole lot of correlation to maintenance and operations utilizing sales tax funds. Because sales tax are always projections. You never know necessarily what you're gonna have. You can base your budget on actual numbers, and in the past, we were basing it off percentages. And I can tell you, it's very difficult to budget off of percentage of what
But
is projected.
history has also shown that sales tax always goes up.
No,
No, not necessarily.
it's down this year.
Huh?
It's down
Sales
this
tax
year.
is down.
Go ask
You
Steve
mean-
Anderson, finance director for the city of Ashland, she'll tell you.
That our sales tax revenues are down.
It's down
But
this year.
trend wise, it's gonna go up.
Not necessarily.
Hmm? And, well, because
You would hope, but
well,
And just for reference, the solid waste tipping fee, we have budgeted to raise $308,000 this next year, okay? The leftover sales tax money that would then be available to the general fund is only $290,000. So even if we committed 100% of the sales tax from the county to that, we're still not gonna cover what it would cost to fund both the joint communications and solid waste. There would be a deficit there.
based on what we receive from the cities and what
Based
we're
on what
putting,
our estimates are.
and what we're putting towards.
And that is going on every year, Bill.
and the city hasn't made an offer to increase, well, I think them putting their money into Fund 40 for that, my own personal opinion,
We've talked.
and I think that's wrong as well, but, we need to all, it appears that we're not all on the same page, and that's probably the most disturbing part, is that it becomes a battle of who gets what, who gets what, that somebody may get something, somebody, but my whole point is still, the reason of the sales tax was to eliminate and to make sure we don't have a tipping fee at our, then was a dump, now it's a transfer station. And now we're gonna have one. There's just more money being raised by that sales tax than there was in 1994, 1995 by far, and we're still having a tipping fee. But there's adequate funds total raised, whether the city keeps it or not, there's enough money to do those things. And I'm just as upset with the city as I am about this, because nobody wants to take the responsibility to do what the voters voted to have happen. That's very disturbing to me.
Well, here again, I think it's definitely disturbing. I sure open it up to people to start a case if they want to re-vote it, but if it's voted down, you lose all the sales tax money, you're gonna put it on property tax.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not suggesting we vote it down.
Well, but I'm
I just wish
gonna,
there was a more,
but I'm saying if it was voted right, you'd have had to, there's a sunset. If you do it the right way, there would have been a sunset. There's no sunset on this part of general use tax. It can go on and on and on forever. If you revote it and you revote it the right way, there will be a limitation. It's like the sports complex out here. There's the agreement here, it sunsets once it's all paid off, okay?
that's
It's
certainly.
gone, right. And that's the way, if you go to the legislature and do it right and say, listen, this is what this is gonna be used for, there will be a sunset date, and you'll have to revote then, again. But that's the only thing that money can be, when you do it that way, that is truly the only way you can use that money.
Well, you know, the city voted in 1980, they put a 1 cent sales tax to buy an aerial ladder truck. And I think the aerial ladder truck's probably been paid for at least 30 years. So,
Well, cities got a lot more.
and they keep
money.
collecting it. And by the way, I'm not here to defend I'm just saying, I think that there ought to be a certain level of communication between the city and the county, all the cities in the county, and say, this is what this money was meant for, we should do our public right. And nobody stood up and said that.
And, well, but at our county summits, we have discussed this, and this, between those summit meetings and what the solid waste committee has sat down and hashed out for the last, 6 months? This is the recommendation that they came to us with, and we're planning on implementing it for at least 2, 3, or our local agreements are gonna be for 3 years, and we're gonna go back and revisit it.
We were told that here's $412,000, don't ask for more, it's in the first. Quote unquote.
Who said that?
Your city manager.
Is that in the minutes somewhere that he said that?
I don't know if there was minutes taken at the city county meetings, but trust me, that was said.
It was real close to that, because it was not the answer to my questions.
Okay, well, trust me, I'm not defending him. Because I think that's equally
We've had
wrong.
multiple, and I would say
That's
probably
equally wrong.
I agree with you about the sales tax, but as county commissioners, we're just kind of doing what cards we've been dealt with, and this is what we've been dealt with, so that's what we're just trying to make it as fair as we possibly can, and to fund it as fair as we possibly can.
And this has been discussed, but, you know, over the last 2 years, we've had several meetings, not only just County Summits, but with City of Ashton. I think we're planning on here, some point here, early fall, possibly having another joint City Ashton County meeting, City of Ashton County meeting, so we're, you know, these things were never discussed for years, as far as I know, or if they were a letter sent in the mail and put in the paper, and that's probably just not a very good way to communicate in my book. So, I mean, I think you should do it face to face.
I think, yeah, well, I'm just disappointed in, and I don't want to say disappointed in my government, or my governing body, I'm disappointed that it never came to what the voters voted on.
Well, make sure it's voted right, that's the whole key. And it's
But I mean,
not the ones that voted right.
the people who, they were led to believe in 1993, this is how this was gonna do, we're gonna have, of course, my opinion was we shouldn't have a transfer station to begin with, because then we're held hostage by the people who haul our trash. And that's beside the point. I didn't think we should do that, I thought we should spend the money, have our own landfill ourselves, and meet the requirements. And everybody said, well, now it's too expensive to do it, because you can't do it today. So and I was incorrect, we are held hostage by either the Deffenbaugh or Waste Management or somebody else out there that's gonna haul our trash somewhere else. And
It's pretty competitive.
And at that point, if they become non-competitive, then the county can buy some trucks, hire some drivers, and do it themselves. That's what we did in Ellis County.
we still gotta haul it somewhere.
Right. But you're not at the mercy of the hauling side of it, you'd be at the mercy of the dumping side, and that's gonna be competitive on that, like they want your trash. So then there's a number of landfills in the area that are not too far that they would be competitive. I mean, there's those options there.
Okay, well, I made my piece.
Any other questions about
Good points.
budget 2014? Any further discussion?
Very good. Yeah, I tried to.
I'd entertain motion to approve.
Oh, you guys close?
Yeah, the closure here.
Close the hearing.
Okay, that's all right. Need a motion to close public budget hearing 2014.
So moved.
A second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Did you, some reason I said crop, but I made 6 copies, I don't have any comments on just of that.
Okay.
Okay, I brought one I had.
And this is a copy, you'll need to scan that for how many copies you want to make finalized.
Is it the same as you gave me?
Should be, yeah, should be the exact same.
Okay, scanned it.
Should decide to write.
Okay.
Just so you have it, yeah, anybody comes in with a copy, you have,
Okay.
so my copy. I'll send you a
Yeah,
copy.
yeah, you can still cut.
You can read it.
Okay.
Because I need to copy that.
Chris, you know, sign down here.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sign down there somewhere. Somewhere on it, print off.
Entertain a motion to accept 2014 budget for Ashland County as stated. Total authority for expenditures $15,362,987 for 2014, with admin tax of $6,965,226.
So moved. Second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 3-0. Elaine, how many copies do you want signed?
Well, let me explain them all and,
Okay.
let me set one, these on tax one for each year.
Personally, and publicly, I'd like to thank Chris for his hard work in helping us rookies through this process this year.
Where'd Chris go?
He's back there hiding, you know.
Just in my little spot.
Yeah. I mean, there's always some interesting challenges from year to year as far as what we have to deal with, and it was definitely nice to have Chris on board to help us get through some rough stretches, and you're always having to be dependent. It's interesting when your budget cycle is off of what the state is, and July 1st to end of June.
Do you have anything else?
Too good. Payment, what do we need to?
Just whatever. Yeah. We can authorize that.
Yeah. Big blocks coming up from Memorial Hall at 2:30.
Joe's here.
Yeah, Joe, do it for us.
I really don't have anything that's checking in. I'm waiting on a rooftop unit to make sure it stays running here.
Did they show up for the wells today or not?
Not today, but we had a meeting last week and we're still, waiting on
Thank
the
you,
windows.
guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So they haven't started anything on the wall.
No, they're still waiting on the windows. They don't want to start until they get the windows set.
There's no ETA on windows when
Not yet, there isn't, should be about 4 weeks is last I heard, but then they said they were starting today, so I thought that had changed with Frank Mount. So there's a little bit of lack of communication between the, drill and the window people, so. They were still talking about coming down and setting up some stuff and staging some of it, but they haven't been there yet today, so. That's all I've got. I got some rooftops.
now half this resolution on solid waste fee.
No, I'm going to go down to court and come back up.
Oh, okay. We'll be in session for a while.
I also have some tea too, if anybody's like.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right on out in the car, but,
I got another question. Why are we, as county commissioners, getting beat up over something that's kind of out of our control?
well, we have final say, you have to take that.
Make sure the beats.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we've done quite as good a job as we should have in explaining it, so.
Yeah, but how, I mean, here again, how do you do it? I mean, you brought this committee together, and they worked hard, and they represent those areas that were the most concerned. And, you know, at first I was a little concerned that it was a little out of control, but I thought they come to a pretty good workable solution. If we get this agreement for 3 years, I think it's worth looking at and then see how the people accept it. I mean, I don't think Bill understands that not everybody's gonna pay the tipping fee. I mean, maybe indirectly, through the city pickup, necessarily per se, but at the same token, I still don't think he understands how the sales tax, the way it was voted is right. But this gets it a lot more equitable than it ever has been in years past, so.
I don't think we talked about it for a long time.
Huh?
I don't think we want to talk about it,
They think it's just simple because, I guess it is simple if you consider it's a countywide theft. I mean, the county should, I think.
Okay.
And then Mary Kay Harris called,
Mm-hmm.
after recycling station closed.
She's called me before too.
But I kind of told her, you told Bill, but, she was wanting to know if you have these single source,
Mhm.
will you be able to take all plastics instead of?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. It's gonna get better, it's really gonna get better for people.
Well, I mean, she said out at the other recycling center, you could only like take the
Yeah.
apartment,
Yep.
that she was asking, but any,
Black is really the only thing we don't want in, right?
Yeah, there's a list, I don't know if it's on our contract, no, Chase probably has a copy of it, it lists all the materials that they're gonna take in the sales
Then
stream.
we probably ought to put that out.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, so.
You know, take a list, you could laminate that and put that out there somewhere, and people can at least say that here's, you know, because they will accept a certain amount of
I mean, we
contamination.
could probably, if we had the list, we could put it on the website as a news flash.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's something you need to do, to have something, write something up, to put it out on the website as a news flash.
Yeah, they flat out, I didn't see that until Saturday, they had a sign up out front.
That
that they
they're
were-
closing, but the county will be,
I know.
but she said that, you know, as long as there was something out there or downtown, she said that was
Do we pay them ahead for each month, or do we wait for them to bill us?
RSC.
Yeah,
Well, I missed them once, so I had to pay them twice.
okay.
But, can't remember if we pay them the beginning or the end.
Some we paid them at the beginning. but-
So they're closing, so I'll have
August
to see.
30th, so.
I'll have to see, if we've already paid August, we won't have to pay any.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be a lot of questions with that sign.
Okay, we have utilities and all that before, or do we need that?
We have it all.
We,
Oh, we have that anyway, so we don't get.
yeah,
that
we
changed
paid
there.
the utilities.
We paid everything, basically.
So when Matt gets out of the building, we'll be able to get that equipment out there. So-
Yeah, I think it's well used from what Matt had indicated, it was the baler, I think the forklift was about the one piece of equipment out there, some duty, yeah.
And there's discussion on the
You
transfer
do like
of
one
the
or
options
two?
we,
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
they
Do
will
we need to do a
actually.
motion on that?
If you want to, once I call them, that trailer will be empty, other than there are some boxes that go into the village, a few boxes.
Okay.
You could probably fill that trailer, and the other trailer has one desk in it, I don't know where it came from,
Okay.
Where's this?
out of the transfer station.
Oh, so that's what's in there, these, or,
Yeah,
okay.
but once I call Chima Services to come, because they're gonna shred it,
Okay.
it'll be empty except for probably 8 boxes that belong to the village. I have no idea what's in them, and there's one desk in the other trailer, so one, you can probably get rid of it.
Talk about storage, Pauline asked us about the utilities on that workforce, did we ever give her a definite answer, yes or no, or did we just kind of let that in limbo to them? You made a motion, or you made a
Well, I
suggestion that we pay the
I
utilities.
asked if the county would, and you know, like, all I would need is electricity, because, I wouldn't have to keep it very warm until,
So they dispose of it, you mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I wouldn't.
When do they, how long do they give you to keep
Well,
it?
he told me 4 to 6 months, would be the, and I think Jerry said longer than that, probably, because it takes longer to,
Mhm.
I would guess it would be, it would take more while. I don't, if they let us, you know, extend that just until they get it disposed of or maintained and until, there's no use of it moving
I don't
down.
need water, because
Mhm.
Memorial Hall is just next door, so, yeah, it goes back, and it's electrical, I have to do something with the machine.
We talked initially with, what's the cave owner about some space down there, Colby, yeah. And it was pretty expensive too, was it $2?
Is
Or
that,
$1.50
is
to $2.50?
that really climate control, I mean, like no moisture?
Oh, yeah.
anything?
He had it about 75 degrees, and he claimed it was climate control, but I was surprised, I thought it'd be 60 degrees and cool.
I mean, like there would be no moisture getting into the money.
He claimed it was, he's got a furnace that runs
Yeah.
365 days a year.
They bake silica, so basically 70, 75 degrees year round with no
Yeah.
humidity, so.
That's what he claimed.
That'd be my only problem, be that.
But you think there'd be some kind of control because some of that stuff in Army had in here would be subject to, you know, moisture, you know, like that.
Well, that depends on if we're gonna do everything. Now, what I see out there at the workforce, you know, I don't know, $50 a foot, so if you rent 2,000 square foot, you only use 10 foot, you're still gonna be paying
stuff we can store.
Yeah, if we don't commit, we have to commit to probably everything, which I think it's a good idea.
Mhm. Probably safer too, because I know we got stuff up in the attic, that's some pretty old stuff.
I just need to visit more with him out there, as he gives assurance
It's
that the
just-
humidity, we know the temperature, but make sure the humidity is controlled.
Pretty sure he said that.
He said that, that's quite.
They're selling it, they're advertising that stuff for like secure documents and.
Well, it needs to be in the rental agreement as a warranty in there, so that, you know, if we do get mildewy documents, they're responsible for them.
Well, documents, if I was, my machine, you know, I don't wanna ruin my machine.
Right.
Right. Same thing.
Yeah.
And like, would you be able to get in it? Cause and you
He
know, we
said
set up
8 to
machines.
5, and
Yeah, unlimited access, like 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then if you need
Saturday,
it.
and then if you had to get in, there would be a,
$35.
Yeah.
there was a fee.
Okay, cause when we set up machines, we usually start at 7 or so.
I bet he raised that.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only like twice a year. we have to.
Yeah. I mean, I gather that he.
Regular occurrences, if you're like every
You
week.
didn't take a tour, did you take a tour of it?
Yeah, I took it on Forest when it came back for,
And something else, kind of on that, Jerry Henry's Center, they have a, paper shredder there, could probably save us some money, we probably.
yeah, that's what this was.
That's where she's,
I see.
yeah.
They've been asking me to go out. I've been told them I had to go out and inventory it so that I knew.
They inquired, we had a call from,
And when we shred, we keep the bags, I keep them in the computer room, and then I call and ask them, I mean, they come up and get those. I mean, they're already shredded, so,
I thought we was hiring that.
our shredding, we have a little that we shred, but this is quite a bit. Oh my God.
The sheriff does. They have,
Oh,
they
from shred?
comes out, yeah, and picks it up.
We have a shredder that, like, we have paper, so just take over and shred, cord shred. Big stuff like this, I'll just call it, I have contracts up in Nelson, so they'll take it down and do it up there. So,
You know, that's something that we probably need, if we're gonna act in the cave, start getting that stuff moved, so then when the day does come, if we change this, we won't have to hurry up and get a lot of stuff moved.
we need to find out how much we got. I think if we start, if we know how much we've got to move, then we know like how much space we need.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, we need to get inventory of what we got in storage before we move in there, yeah, that's your first. And then go to everything, there's not much, and then you gotta start planning what's a little extra space to have, to add stuff to it or something.
Have a couple of discussions about the hours and or have that in the contract or something that.
Yeah, I think that's Adobe standard in contract. So, so were we holding off on rescinding it might be holding up some of these cities on the agreement or local.
No, because it's built into the whole agreement.
It's in the agreement, it says we shall rescind within 30 days after.
We got 30 days on it.
But when are we supposed to, should we get that back for October, aren't we? Are we getting that back from all the
It
cities?
could be, it just depends on, I'm sure the city action will act on theirs pretty quick. You see, the other cities have already had their August meetings, so now it's gonna be September. Did you go ahead and email that? See, we discussed this most recently,
Oh,
you and
okay.
here. Did you go ahead and email any agreements to those cities?
No, I didn't.
So you can do that with it, you can rescind it with it, I thought you had to have a separate resolution to rescind.
No, we will, no, we're still gonna have that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll do that, but it's in that contract, that the contract, if we wouldn't rescind it, then they're in a local agreement void, basically. That's one of the conditions of being a local agreement, that we do rescind it, so within 30 days from the time they sign their agreement and stuff, so. So my intention is by first October, to have that thing sent.
You know when they all meet?
Yeah. And I told you the first one, Muskota and Effingham I can't make, I'm not for sure I'll make like, Muskota or Effingham is the first Wednesday of the month.
So that's the fourth.
Yeah. That's the first day I'm going to stay. Muskota is the second Monday.
So the ninth.
And Lancaster is the second Tuesday.
Okay.
And I think Lancaster is at 7:30 and the others are at 7 o'clock. And then I think Huron is the third Monday of the month.
Yep. Bill's gonna be out for like 3 weeks or something like that, I don't, since we work out typically, I don't see what the big deal is about just,
Well, we haven't got the tipping fee all set yet either. We haven't got all the provisions of the tipping fee, I mean, we haven't decided what we're gonna do on that stuff, so. No, I just wanna make sure we start getting some of the agreements back before I mean, I don't wanna do it, don't get me wrong, but it's just a matter of, you go and sign that, and something falls through, then.
Well, you make a really good point, that perhaps we should adopt the interlocal agreement, so that we've already got them all executed when we take them to the other cities for their approval. And I don't have, I mean, I have a final draft, so I don't have 7 copies of it here.
You mean, we need to approve the.
We need to approve it so that we've adopted it.
Right. Yeah.
So it's more than just asking them to make us an offer.
Right, right. I thought we had the final draft of that.
You do have a final draft of it, have you approved it?
No, I don't think so.
That's what he's saying,
we need to do that, yeah, we need to approve that.
Okay, now he's finding that confused.
Cause they're coming up on, well, when did most of them meet, first week of September,
What's that?
the next, all the, cities?
No, they're spread out all through the month.
4th, 9th, 10th, and 16th. Why?
The city will be, are they the first Monday or the second Monday, or when will they be?
They next week, they might be next week, coming up, I don't think they had a meeting this week.
Are they first or third? Maybe the first or third.
They might even be meeting today. You know that?
They are not today.
Okay, so that'd be next.
Yeah, Monday's Labor Day, the 2nd. I don't know what they do. Do they just skip that one?
Don't they go the next, don't they go Tuesday?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We have to have the tax sale posted 2 weeks prior, so that should be done by the 4th. Correct. Yes.
Oh, yeah, within the date, that's coming up.
That's 26th.
26th of September.
Oh, that's 26.
And how many properties did you have?
I think you're right, the 25th.
Yeah. Who's not one?
Yeah, it's 40.
Well, then we got 2 of them sold. After the baseball. Baseball, you might have them too. You might listen to that.
The only thing on item 5 that you had that I would open for discussion, it says contributions by counties and cities may be based either upon actual receipts for the current year or upon the total receipts from the last. I thought we got it to make everybody equal, and it's easy to figure is when shouldn't we just make it all equal, be based upon the actual total receipts from the previous year.
City of Atchison did not want to do that because they wanted a hard number that they could put into their budget at the beginning of the year. And they wanted us to base on previous years and then increase or decrease based upon cost of consumer price index. And by the time I got to writing that paragraph, it was as long as the rest of the interlocal agreement. So this actually was compromised with that. So the city was 2 years behind.
September 3rd, maybe Tuesday,
Maybe
City of Ashland.
city on Tuesday, okay. Yeah, they probably will meet later today with it. No, okay. Oh, that's fine, I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me, it would be, I just thought everybody was consistent. I mean, to me, the easy way to figure it is you've got the actual figure of what 12 was, and that's how you'd have them to work with.
Right.
You know,
I don't disagree with you at all. It would be much simpler. That's not what City of Atchison wanted to do. They want a hard number to put in.
I guess you'd have a hard number.
Well, you wouldn't, because it would be based upon, receipts you had had.
Yeah, but for the 2014 budget, you're using 2012 figures, so you'd have them by February of this year. So they would know what to put in the 2014 budget.
That's true. That's true.
If you use current, it could float. I mean, if you start to get a real bad year, it's gonna float down.
Right.
So you're gonna sidestep that one whole good year that you may have had, so that part can fluctuate rather than being a hard, fast number.
Well, that's true, but, if you look at like the city of Lancaster, they don't base it on the figures from 2 years ago. The ones that are turning it over every month, they would just assume, I think, turn it over based upon what they received that month, rather than.
And that's fine, if that's what they want to do. They can use whatever they want. I mean, it's not, if Lancaster holds to what they said, they're gonna turn over every bit of it, so. But it never does coincide with the actual amount. It never has, none of the cities have ever coincided, because a lot of times they're a month or so behind, sending it stuff, so.
Right, that's true as well. Well, aren't we 60 days behind getting it from the state? The December receipts come at the beginning of February.
I think it was quite 60 days behind.
Do you know?
Minimum like 30, I know it's typically.
You mean from the time, it's minimum 30, it could be 60 days from the time that they,
30 is probably more accurate. The December sales.
be first of February, you wouldn't know about first of February, at the very soonest. Because, because I think some of your it may be 60 days, because don't your retailers have a certain time frame before they have to report?
Yeah, it depends on how big they are.
I could ask them, what the deadline for reporting sales tax was.
So if our agreement, is that a resolution that you need for that, or is that just?
I think
a
you
motion?
should adopt it or vote.
Interlocal agreement.
I just said,
Mr. Chairman, the proposed interlocal agreement between the county and the 5 municipalities, city municipalities, I move that we approve that agreement. As my second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Carried 3-0.
Is there a number?
Did not get a resolution number.
Well, I mean, it'd be the next one after, with this one, but I mean, so do you have something on?
Yeah. We had a copy that Pat sent out, which is really changed the.
I can give you a number.
2013.
Probably 1371.
What is it?
1371. It'd be after this one.
Get a couple copies.
It's 2016.
need more than a couple, we need 7 of them, I think.
Original?
7 originals, yeah.
So before you sign it, I'll make you copies of the signature page. Have you already signed it?
No,
Right? I can just make copies of the signature page and then attach it to the,
Well, each of the cities is going to want their own original. So we're going to need copies, all of the pages. Let's get them, I would think we want them on,
but on this one, I can make copies for him to sign, 7 of them.
well, I think we'll want them on the same kind of paper. I don't think we want them to look.
So what you're just saying is we need 7 copies.
So are you gonna-
Total agreement.
I can, but I don't have them here today. I could bring it by Jeff's office and have him sign it tomorrow or something.
Okay.
I could do that, or however you prefer.
it's fine, no,
Okay.
I'll go with you.
Just so it gets executed, that's all I care about.
Okay, so 26. Or if we get out early enough, so we can, put it out in your office, I can just slow you down.
Well, I'll print it, yeah, I'll take a minute.
Okay. Link to the other meeting dates of the other cities, so we've obviously got the 3rd.
The 4th, the 9th, 5th, and 16th.
And I can't make Effingham and Muskota. I mean, I think we ought to have some representative, but I think I can make Lancaster, just if they got any questions.
What's the, what dates are Effingham and Muskota?
Effingham is the 4th and Muskota is the 9th. And Lancaster will be the 10th.
I could do the 4th to Effingham.
Pat said he's willing to do one too.
Yeah.
You can go out and visit the museum.
I
Baseball
see.
museum,
What time do they usually meet, is that 5? What time do they-
7.
7.
Effingham is at 7, Muskota is at 7, I think Lancaster's 7:30. And here it might be 6, I'm not for sure, I have to go look. But they didn't give us a firm commitment because they didn't do it.
Which one are you going to, Pat, then? I can go on the 4th.
But I'll do the 9th, on Monday, the 9th, I can do that.
Okay. The 9th is,
But I'd go ahead and email them, just give them a little cover letter and just tell them that someone from the county will be present.
okay. And the 9th is Muskota, so, and then 10th is Lancaster?
Yeah, I can try to make Lancaster.
You can?
I think so, I should be back. That Tuesday and Wednesday, I usually come home from the fair, so.
Okay. We'll just let one of Pat or myself know, one of us can.
If I get, I'll let you know, otherwise I'll count on doing that in here.
And here on the 16th.
Yes,
Or
that's
here
here.
it should be, yeah.
What time's Lancaster usually?
7:30. And the mayor is usually late.
If you show up 5 minutes early, you'll be the first one here.
usually gets set by Beaver, so.
Okay, so by 16, which works good because we have meetings 17, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, and they may or may not sign them up, but I think we need to tell them we'd like to have those back ASAP, definitely by the 1st of October, and see no reason, they may want to discuss them a little bit, but I think in the cover letter we send out to them, we would like to have them, we'd like to have them collected that night if we possibly could.
So let's get them sent out ahead of time
Yeah, I'd have
with
that
intent for
sent
them to
out.
review.
And if those, you might mention in the letter, make sure that if it refers to Effingham, that I understand your meeting such and such, and that way if there's an error, I think it'll let you know if they had a change in minutes or in meeting time, so.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely give them some advances, we can try and get it wrapped up.
Yeah, as soon as, 17th, Bill might be back then, but we can make that group, do the sending, and maybe at that time, hopefully.
So we got Dick and Larry up here from Warren Hall, so we'll let them go ahead and pull it out.
You ready for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, 2:30, we're already 2 minutes late.
So I think the reasons for us being up there, 2 reasons. We want to bring you up to date as where we are right now. We met last week with, we brought an architect into the picture. We want to be sure that this project is ADA approved, whatever. So this shows a little slowing process into this. Second thing that came up in the meeting, we met Friday, is that right?
Yeah, again.
Friday. Anyway, at that time, they were looking at 2 trusts to try to get some money. One of them is the Courtney Turner Trust. Courtney was a colonel incident in World War II. But anyway, this afternoon, they're having the preliminary meeting on the Turner Trust to tell everybody what they have to do to apply for money. And they'll have 30 days to put their request in from that, after this meeting. So that's going to put us into the 1st of October. Then we're getting too late to get bids really put together and start the project this fall, or we think we are. The thing that we wanted to be sure of, that we can depend on your money, even though it's going to be next year before we get it started, before we can get the project started.
As far as I'm concerned, we committed, I want to make it clear, because last time it was up here, we were wanting to make sure, even though it was $25,000 in the budget, it was a matching amount. In other words, if you end up coming in on the cost of $40,000.
Yeah, well, we understand.
Okay, yeah.
But as of right now, we have 18.
Yeah, we only got, we got some more money coming in,
So there'll be more money coming in, especially now that this thing's going to be delayed a little bit. We want to be sure that your $25,000 that you've committed is going to be available. They've got another 25 to.
Well, if you don't use it this year, you transfer it into reserve.
If it goes over into 14, that's what I'm
Okay.
concerned about.
And I'm pretty sure what we do is transfer that into next year as a reserve, and we could, probably know whether we could create a, fund and have it reserved, so it's there, because it's technically not in the 2014 budget, but if we don't spend it this year, we can move it to next year into a reserve fund, so it's available when you need it, so.
Okay. So we're good. Okay. I didn't know that whether you knew that we've got an architect in the picture and
We weren't aware of that, but that's.
I think that's a good idea to make sure what we're doing as far as the plans are concerned, and make sure we've got ADA accessible entry into the building and that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
That's what one of the things we're after.
Right now, they got $13,000 raised from private donations and selling some bricks, and they're in the process, getting more money, so.
Yeah, see, we've got that fund, we know that's in our, it's a non-revenue fund, but it's in our budget. And that's what I'm thinking is at the end of the year, because we appropriated some money,
Okay.
we can, now we may not actually, because of delinquency, collect 25,000, but it may be like 22 or something like that. We can take that money, probably transfer that, we'll have to check for sure with our auditor, but we can probably transfer that money right into that account then too, as far as that goes. And knowing if you've got your plan and everything and ready to go.
So it's gonna be, at least a month before we have the plans, I'm sure.
Sure.
The architect's just getting his feet wet.
Okay.
He's familiar with the building. This architect worked on one of the bathrooms, at least, when they remodeled the bathroom down there.
So he knows.
So he knows the building and whatever.
Okay.
Okay?
They're talking major front, I don't know if you've looked at any plans, but they're talking about re-landscaping the whole front.
Patty gave us a rough drawing, I presume.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Bill, okay. I think we tweaked it a little bit since
The
then.
only thing that I think where Mike's coming from, her estimated cost at that time was almost $42,000. So we're committed up to $25,000, but on a cost, on a,
50/50.
Well, that's good.
So it may not quite be 25,000.
And it may end up more than we think it's going to.
25,000, yeah.
Yeah, the original when Don came up here the first time, this has been over a year ago before
Yeah.
it really came on, the projected cost was 50,000.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it runs more than this last estimate. They're gonna have to do some things that I'm sure they didn't figure into it. That was the only problem that we had, I think.
Right.
So,
Just kind of bring you up to date on what was going on.
Are you guys on board with Patty? She's wanting to get more functions there to kind of get your funds built up.
Make use of the building.
Yeah, make more of those.
if they get money from Courtney's trust, they should be able to get a substantial amount.
And they're also looking at a Haverty Trust, Mick Haverty's a big donator, they're looking at that too, so. They're in the process of, selling some bricks.
Either one or both of those come through, they shouldn't have too much of a problem matching your 25 anyway, or more.
I have a question for them.
Yes,
Before I forget.
we need a lease agreement with you and your tenant, and I don't think we've received the financials yet.
Yeah, we have.
Basically, between us and
And rec commission, you lease the building, or part of it through the rec commission.
oh, I see.
Our insurer has asked us to get
Yeah.
written leases on all of those. Statute says you can only rent it for a year at a time.
I don't remember if I've seen one of those. I've been on that thing for 25 years. I can't remember whether we've got a written agreement. I don't remember.
Well,
I'm sure we have. I just don't know where it is.
We need to get one if we don't.
Yeah.
I'm happy to help with one, but I didn't want to step on Leonard's toes.
Okay, well, we'll work on it. We'll get you a copy.
Great.
Okay?
Great, thank you for your work.
I don't know. She hasn't been an architect in her field. I don't think she
It
did.
pays real well.
What's that?
This job we've got pays real well.
Dick, do you need, I've got a copy, this is the proposal Don brought up, would you want to get copies of it? This shows the picture of, that's how it was in 1922.
Oh, I've got those, I'm sure.
We've got all that.
Yeah, we've got
This is mainly, the front page was the estimate of what the cost,
Yeah, I know.
the first proposal was, and that's what we based our 25, this was 53,000, and that's why we budgeted to cover almost half of that 25.
I've seen those figures.
Okay, all right,
All right,
very good.
thank you.
Yeah.
We was checking in too to see, that don't mess it up with, it's a historic building, you know, we've gotta make sure that we don't, you know, go overboard and mess up the grants down the road or something like that, so.
Right, exactly.
We
You
gotta
gotta be
meet all-
careful on that, I know.
Exactly, so,
Yeah, we dealt with that story.
yeah, I'm sure. But the building does get a lot of use, Bill, they get a lot of volleyball, and it's pretty.
No,
I think they were talking more like play, concerts.
Weddings
Yeah.
and
Weddings.
stuff.
Non-sport events.
Yeah. Trouble with it is now, it's not air conditioned, we're maybe looking at down the road, maybe, you know, in the
She
summertime.
mentioned that.
Yeah, we might, down the road, you know, try to get it air conditioned eventually or whatever. Yeah.
Well, with school started, there's gonna be a lot of use. And kids use it for roller skating and all kinds of things.
Basketball, volleyball, they do, it's pretty well used
Yeah.
for the building.
You get out of your hair?
Well, thank you for coming in.
Got a question for Larry Dunn.
Thank you.
A 613C with 900 hours on it, what's something like that for a pass road?
That's a cat, of course. That's pretty low hours bill, so I wouldn't say right off without looking at the book or whatever. I'd say it'd be a real good machine without low hours, yeah. Can't be sure.
89, and it looks good, it's an 89 on
Is it? Years don't matter as much as hours, you know,
it.
that's.
I mean, the years amount to a little bit, when you talk 89, but then you say 900 hours, so the years kind of go out the window.
Yeah,
Low hours.
Cat-
Very good parents.
Cat holds the value, you know that, I mean, they have low hours for paddle wheel, so. Yeah. Yeah. Run it around, have your operator run it a little bit, or check it out, you know, all that. Yep. We need a little rain, can you get that on budget, or?
We were, could be like last year.
Yeah.
Too bad she didn't bring those peaches in the form of a pie. Can't have everything.
That's a healthier version for it.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I'm just glad to have you here.
Vanilla ice cream.
Exactly. Yeah, actually, I prefer coffee over there, Mary.
Just like the ice cream down there.
We had fresh peach pie bizarre yesterday.
Warm with a little melting vanilla ice cream on
Yeah.
top.
They have ice cream on it, but it was still pretty good.
Mary said it'll be a long time before I bring pictures back here. You give me an inch and 1 mile.
Was you here when we passed the interlocal agreement?
I caught in right on the tail end of it.
Yeah, it will be notified each of the cities with hopes to have all those back by mid-September,
Mid-September.
so that we can then, at that point, then we'll be setting the solid waste fee, and I think we've got really till sometime in October to set our tipping fees. And do we have to pass a resolution then, Pat, that we're gonna have a tipping fee? Yes. So we can take a resolution, okay, so we'll have to do that then too.
Okay, and what's this interlocal agreement say that they will
Give 41%.
41%?
Yep, minimum.
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 And then
Minimum.
even more, yeah, minimum of 41%.
But I mean, it's not only the city, but the county has to give a minimum of 41% to it. And this year's budget, as Chris said, was about between 68 and 69% is what the county's going to contribute.
Yeah, talking about heavy equipment, did you see that excavator down at
Well, Matt showed us a picture that fell through the,
Yeah.
Stein.
Yeah.
Just email you a copy of it.
Okay.
I take it no one's hurt, but you know.
Some guy came into the glove office and said he saw it happen, and he ran over to the guy, the operator, and he was okay, and then he come down and told us, so.
I think you know about a little one or something.
Like I said, I would buy it today and there, it's 3.
doing the demolition down there.
I don't know who's in on it.
It's like Atchison Community, something, and I think I heard somebody say it was Jim Toll,
I
but.
didn't know that, okay. Okay. Speed limits on county roads, I see that up on the agenda.
That's from what Pat found out, Robert.
Well,
I think we do, I think it's, I really think it's safer, but if we're gonna have to post them on them roads at the 45 mile, you know, the discussion there was, there's certain roads we're gonna lower the speed limit. I said, why don't we just make all gravel, or dirt roads 45?
Yeah, he sent you an email.
about the.
Oh, that's right.
He sent the email about.
Now posting it all, 55, so any
Yeah.
place you, any short segments, you gotta post it, so we're talking a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
to start posting, so I guess we would probably have only a few.
Well, for the gravel roads, yes, but for the other ones, I don't think it would be expressive.
No, that's true.
So I think what we had talked about, I can't remember what I talked about it with, was suggesting having a hearing maybe in October, beginning of October, end of September, for people, if they had comments about it, to address them then, and then you could adopt
Okay.
one. If you
I
may,
see what you're saying.
you may have people come forward to say that the speed limit's too fast or too slow, even one that you modified, or some other road that, they think should be changed, so.
It's interesting seeing just what the counties, like when we consulted with Norm Bauer, it's interesting to see like how the eastern half, like when they were looking at, I was really shocked that 45 mile per hour was, to me, that just seems like an odd speed limit, the 45, seems like an odd speed limit for those. But I think you brought it up like to 50 or down to 40, I would think would be what you normally. No, but I mean, it just seems like an odd speed limit, because you just don't see generally 45 speed limits in a whole lot of places, but at least we know like which roads we have currently with prior resolutions, or we thought we had prior resolutions on. But, I don't know. As far as like speed limit side, there's stretches, I know in the county right now, you don't know what the speed limit is. I mean, it's, safety wise, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
We got narrow bridges and dangerous curves, we got all kinds of signs that we're way short of.
Those definitely need to get posted, those are subject to liability, but more importantly, they're subject to safety.
Yeah.
Somebody drive, people that live out there, they all know that the road turns or whatever, but you're a first time driver going down the road.
Do you order his signs, or do you make them out there? Yeah, machine to make them.
Didn't he mention $50 for like a stop sign or something, in the post and the labor to install?
You said he thought it was about $100 total, post labor and sign.
I'm sure you know what stop signs.
Well, he usually said for some, probably the same difference, for some. He may have
He loves metal posts, I can imagine those being.
But I don't know how long it takes to install. They do it by hand with the,
Huh?
they do it by hand with the.
Not those metal ones.
Yeah,
They do?
sure, polish and get them in the ground. You gotta drive it in.
They usually use the skid steer or something to put those on. You sure?
They may.
we need to get that going.
Yeah.
Decide what to do.
Contractual,
Yeah. Bring it quiet.
about 10, no,
10, yeah.
15, give us 15.
Yeah.
KSA 75-4319 B2.
So entertain a motion, to take a session, 15 minutes with county council and commission, coming out at, let's just call it 3:10? No, sorry. 3:05.
Yeah, 3:05.
Sorry, 3:05.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
330, did you say aye?
Yes, yes,
Told you, 61 cents.
We probably need to, do that, it's a resolution, or just an appointment motion.
Well,
What do you think those things?
where they go?
For Jim.
Are you doing another
I
executive?
think Pat said it'd be a resolution to appoint Jim.
I'll let you go back there.
Oh, that's okay, bring that up.
I'm sorry, what did you?
We need a resolution to appoint Jim.
I didn't read that, the statute.
That's what property valuation wants.
That's what the statute says.
Is it for the 4 years or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we
Full-time?
should, you know.
We said full-time the first year, then we'd make the
Well,
decision
it's
after.
for 4 months, yeah.
She said for 4 years.
Now, I don't know, we should have resolutions then from prior years,
We need to get that.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that? You're talking about him? No.
No, I'm talking all days and.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I do. And she's looking up something on the resolution.
Okay.
Huh. Oh,
Would you look to see if there was a resolution?
are you looking to see, Pat, or you want me to?
Well-
We're not getting file?
I'm looking at the
4 years.
resolutions, there should be one in 2009, right, July?
4 years, 2009.
Yeah, I don't see one.
Okay.
Okay. I could be overlooking.
Let me go down, get his folder. And then we'll see.
Yes, I think so.
She's going to, want to do a executive session?
She's gonna be back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. She's getting his file, we need to get that taken care of today.
You get one thing now?
Job posted for landfill.
Well, we need to get job descriptions written first, and then decide when we're gonna post it.
Get nothing for more over.
We're gonna get cheesed out
Well,
here.
help yourself with that too. Hop over if you want, there's ice, but she took the cups. I got the list. Well, get you some ice and some more pop.
We'll have to go back and finish my, told McDonald's to light the ice, so they did, they put it in here.
I would ask for no ice.
Huh?
I asked for no ice.
Oh, you do, I just say go light, because sometimes that tea,
Dr. Pepper, no ice. Give my $1.09 for it, buddy.
yeah, but sometimes the tea is made,
Out there, one more we was out there, man, I come through, I was thirsty.
but your tea, they make it in a different container, they don't put no ice in it. But your fountain drink, sometimes that's already a little bit cold, you can do it.
My boy said he never want any ice cream out of McDonald's. Never put the machines out, he said if you take some of those going off those machines, you'd never get ice cream, anything out of it.
You heard about the kid in Junction City, ate a donut, bit into it. Some of the machine went bad, and then there was bits of, little pieces of filings, and they found some little bitty O-rings in these donuts they got from Walmart. It was his birthday, his dad went to Rochester, it was his birthday, he spent the day in the hospital. because he ate bad donuts.
And it's done in our town. I'm good, thank you.
We're still in open session. So we need executive session on personnel, matter of non personnel, for 10 minutes.
Now that, we will, she does.
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Or,
Acquisition.
acquisition of property. Oh, no, we're done. Yeah, we have
Sign outside says you were still sitting in the executive session.
Oh, no, come on in.
Okay, thank you.
Grab some water real quick.
Do we need to turn that sign around out there, or
Yeah, but we go back here.
go back, we're gonna go back?
Sorry, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, what can we do for you?
Thank you. My apologies for being late. Wife had a doctor's appointment over in Lawrence, and I take it earlier today you had a discussion about budget?
Yes.
Yeah, we have a budget hearing at 1:30.
Correct. Arthur Thompson from Brooks Road.
Okay.
And I saw on the budget line item of a special highway, there was a little bit more this coming year allocated in the budget. I was hoping that there'd be something for Brooks Road that you could share with us now, or whether that was simple for that, payment.
Okay. I think, well, I know at least initially for next year, there was, part of the reason why we had an increase, we had a road grader we purchased, and, we also have a project out on Edwards Road, existing paved road that's got some base issues that we've got to redo. I know initially those are the two roads, or those are the two big increases on the road and bridge. I think there's another truck, I think we're purchasing.
Was you talking about on road and bridge budget, or you talking about the special highway?
The special highway.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's your highway tax.
Yeah, that's the sales tax at the fuel pumps,
Oh.
the state collects for each county. Yeah.
That's what we're starting to use some of that. Here again, we can't, until that money gets, it's really a non-budgeted item. And until you get that in there, you don't know how much you got. We've been using it for, like we had a bridge down here south of town. We wasn't aware it was gonna go bad, but it went bad. So we had to come up with $60,000 we had to have in the budget. So that's really kind of a reserve fund to take care of those, contingency and stuff. And so, yeah, you're right. He was explaining on the road and bridge that
Yeah.
most of it was capital improvement.
And there, significant expenses this past year. I was
was hoping that, there'd be some news that I could bring back to the neighbors.
Okay, on Brooks Road, you're talking about like
Brooks
Brooks Road?
Yeah, it was chip and seal for that first 6/10 of a mile.
Okay.
And just as a reminder, the neighbors, most of the neighbors have, agreed to contribute something towards that project. It's not very often.
So now you're talking about like benefits district, is that what?
Well, that was one thing that, we talked about, what was it, was it 2 years ago or so?
But you could, yeah,
But
yeah. Well, the bigger part is the concept of you wanna take more roads onto the highway, the county highway system. It's a township road now.
I think one thing was brought up, that the figure that you were told
Yeah.
was
Sorry,
lower.
yours.
Oh, all right.
You're thinking about something else. Sorry, Pat is thinking.
Wasn't, he was saying one price, and then you say, or Matt said that was the wrong price quoted to him.
Well, yeah, I think some of the prices that was originally quoted, fixed figures like a 3 or 4 inch rock base is fairly coated. If we're gonna do the road right, we're rehabbing the road out, you're talking it costs $87,000 a mile.
Mhm.
So you're looking at probably 57,000 just to do that, if you do it right, I mean, if we ever did it right.
Well, the numbers that we were given at the time were from the highway department.
The highway department?
Well,
It was from Matt, it was Matt.
Matt.
What was the estimate? What was the estimate?
12,000.
I think our part was 23,000, because we had, Don Ball and I, a couple of others, figured we were gonna put in 4,000 to 5,000 each.
Okay.
And now we've got a few more neighbors in the tax base, and more income for the county.
Okay, so you're talking about setting up a true benefit district, that's what you're.
If it has to get to that, if it could just be some kind of, way where,
The only reason why, the reason why I would prefer like a benefit district over that, there's a road in Donovan County where, neighbors chipped in, not saying that we're Donovan County, but in this instance, it's Kingman Road and it turns into Castleton Road. I don't know if any of you've been up there, but they paved it probably about 10 years or plus, and the neighbors like all chipped in, they paid for it. Well, the county didn't have any plans to maintain it, or there wasn't anything like built in to maintain it over time. They basically, long story short, it's got major holes. I mean, they're to the point where they didn't maintain it, but it would be nice to have something in place where everybody's on the same page as far as how to maintain it, or, okay.
well, the assumption was that it would be a county road and properly maintained. We would put in significant amounts towards the construction, which was, that original proposal, where we would buy gravel and, I guess the oil or tar, and then, there would be some labor from the county as time is available for the local system.
We probably need to get Matt to.
Matt, he needs
Do
to
an
update
updated.
the figures, because that sounds to me like you're using 4 inches of base rather than 8. If it's done right, and this is the problem we're running into some of the chip and seal road, this is the reason that we're, bigger farm equipment stuff, and/or other trucks that go down these roads, they weren't made right, and they're not good enough. And if, you gotta try to go back in and get them redone and done right, so that they hopefully will, if equipment don't get that much bigger, big trucks and stuff, why, maybe they're whole, so that's, I can see where he probably could come up with that figure with a 4 inch, but any roads that we've got now, a 4 inch base, they just don't hold up where they are. It takes about 8 inches.
I've done some design for Corps of Engineers roads and know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I think River Road, where he doing it, I think they figured 10 inches is there.
Got the big trucks coming along there.
Well, not only that, but it's a CD,
Oh.
there's some water that comes out hill, and, so you wanna, get a good rock base, so some of that, and we're actually putting laterals in there so that to drain the water away.
You got some big trucks going through this road too, don't you?
Occasionally, now, last month, or 2 months ago, there was some run of, big water trucks. Every 10, 15 minutes, I don't know where they were
On
going.
the highway, that was just resurfacing the highway.
Possibly. Well, they just resurfaced it this year.
Well,
so
these weren't tar or oil, these seemed to be,
Do they use the water when they chip that stuff? Really, they don't use the water when they grind up that highway, rough it up, do they?
I'm not sure sure if they do or not, to be honest with you. I wouldn't think, if they just heat it up and grind it.
That would have been.
I'm not sure where that is going, to be honest with you.
We've got a few tractors that go down there from time to time.
Okay. So we probably need to re-verify, recheck with Matt. I don't know if you wanna get with them, with Matt, and let me give you this. Uh, 913-370-1552.
And Matt's last name?
Dorson, D-O-R-S-S-O-N.
Appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Yep, thank you for coming on.
My apologies for not being here earlier, but, we were still in Lawrence.
Okay, no, not a problem.
Found out why they call the doctor's room a waiting room. Now it's 15 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They've already got the ditch filled and the pier has been dug out to scale, so.
How far over the road they have to go?
So,
They were within some of the phone lines in there.
they found it, and AT&T says they're gonna do something about it, cause it's from right down the middle of the ditch, so.
Also, they're maybe strapped.
Well, they found in parts, it was buried deeper than others, so it come up one section.
Different on both sides and cut it, make the loop and put those sealant things and they won't miss it if you won't skip a beat.
But I got another email from Joe. This reflects the two, cause I drove up to Effingham and couldn't get a hold of Martin's, so, they said that they don't currently have a cover top, but that they would be willing to get one if it means that they get the,
Business.
mhm. So,
Who did you talk to?
Austin.
Austin, okay.
That's his.
That's his son. He runs a construction business, but he's getting drug into the trash business too for him since his mother died.
He's,
You said now it's 2, not 3.
not 3, cause if we wanna do the Effingham one, then that'll just be something separate with Martin's.
But
So.
Devereaux would stay, if you went to 2, they're still gonna stay at 140.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, and Joe will probably wonder why I took the ripple glass off, but that's because I need to meet with Matt when he has a moment, because he's kind of busy right now. We'll figure out how that agreement is set up and what we can do with that.
Okay.
So we can save the $240 a month.
And so we don't need one out of Effingham, or we do? We don't need a container out there?
That's the Martin's one. Martin's will offer the
I
30.
don't think you've got
Oh,
enough
okay.
at Effingham, I would not worry about that.
I think our glass container is sufficient. We'll figure out how many times it gets done, but if we can just keep it as that.
We'll not do anything with it until we find out exactly what we have.
Because
That's what I would
if we can keep not paying for it, I'm all for
But
that.
you're still saying we may need to put a second one in, though, I mean, we,
If we do the volume, but then again, we have.
The solid waste committee brought it up repeatedly, and some of them, the businesses that were indicating that they would
If we,
utilize it down the downtown corridor.
if we did take the one that we have and put it downtown, it might get filled quicker, just because it's near the main street and it's centrally located to the drinking establishments, so it might get full.
There was initially talk, and this has been a couple of years ago, but the Ripple Glass people had suggested, they said there may be a cost savings way that you could do it, is you get the smaller 4 cubic yard dumpsters, like periodic station all around, and you haul it, you take it to the central point, like the transfer station. Then you get some of those blocks, like you typically see, like salt, sand,
Like we have.
they're contained in, and so basically, you dump the glass there, it gets crushed by the big loader, and you like load it up on end up, and they thought that the freight savings alone on that was more feasible than.
Well, they did offer $39 for an 8 cubic yard in any type of material that you want, whether it's glass, paper, but if you figure out, if you station, for it to be an 8 cubic yarder, and assume that's like 3/4 full, you need about 5, 6, 7, and, you know, then you also pay for the front loader that crushes and manages it. If we did enough volume, there would be a lot of cost savings, but, you know, I don't think we would conceivably generate a little bit more, making it more convenient, placing it out back at the businesses, but that would be, might be 2 or 3 years if we're really trying to recover, materials and the commodities, makes it so that it is, revenue positive, or, I mean, it creates some revenue, but, right now, it's just.
No, that was just strictly glass, and that was based on what Ripple suggested, they thought we'd save.
If someday we do away with the dumpster at the state lake, will we need to get a dumpster at Effingham, or are you supposed to just take the trash back to the landfill station? Transfer station.
We've already got a roll-off at Effingham, don't we?
2.
That's what I'm saying, what, is that gonna be adequate if we do away with the dumpster at the lake?
We'll just have to go back, the Martin's Hall office, they need it, so I mean, and it's only open 2 days a week. I think you're gonna see a drastic change in volume. The other thing that, they're probably not as much weight five, see, it's not packed in there out there, people just throw stuff in there like it is Effingham. And even people that decide to come on to Effingham to dump it, they will, I don't think there'll be that much increase. You may have to dump 1 more dumpster a week at the most, but that's, you know, we're all on two a week or so off the county lake right now. So, that's just one of the things we'll find out if that's ever eliminated, that how much of that trash, yeah.
How much of ours would be the biggest, we're paying for Brown County.
And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that drive further than there, that they're close to Effingham, or about as close, there are people from Lancaster come out. It's simply because it's a time of day, they can go out there whenever they want to. And so, I mean, it's not as if they're not close to another, they're not saving anything in their trucking, yeah. And like one person said out there, he said, we really could, several of us go together and hire Martin's to hire hauling, if it was closed, have them haul it cheaper than what we can afford each of us run to the landfill for. And that's kind of the idea, It's just, the more then you put around, the more convenient, the more it's gonna cost us.
Right.
Too, so, it's, but, so if you're talking, we're maybe looking at just using, the 1 glass dumpster?
The one that we get for free right now, and either keep it at its current location or put it downtown. There's a risk reward, I mean, it has been the place for years, bring your glass, so unless you effectively communicate it, although if you put it somewhere highly visible.
I would suggest leaving where it's at, because I think. I need a motion to recess.
I don't know if it's a drill.
We don't
I
know.
hadn't heard there was gonna be a drill.
Well, sometimes it goes off, it goes off.
Are you checking, are you going, or what are we doing?
All flash there.
You better grab the ground, because they might be burning up.
It might be out there a while.
What's our correct fire exit?
I won't do that.
Call later, okay.
hear the fire trucks yet. And that's gonna, how much they're gonna have to be pulling trailers in and out into the bed like that. Well, when they bring, either you gotta have the single source recycling trailer in place, so that once they dump it, then the skids, or the backhoe pushes it on in, and you gotta know when they're coming, because then, if you got other trash coming in, then you're gonna have to pull that one out and then put your regular trash deal in, so the fellow may wanna get with Deckenball, get it timed, coordinated time, otherwise you're gonna have.
It's only like one day for this and one day for that, can't we do that?
Well, there is one more day. Like you said, like coordinate, that's what we're saying, like coordinate where both are dropped off, dump it at reasonable time.
I just got an email back from Jim Murray, he says that he can have the trailer out. He didn't say when. Also something like that, but.
Well, you're gonna be okay this week, I mean, it's gonna take a
Yeah.
little bit to build that up, but probably in the next week to 2 weeks, you're probably gonna need something, so,
Oh, well, I just got an email from Pamela. New 20-yard recycle bin with 3 doors on each side must be emptied each month for $255. Each empty. Price guaranteed for 1 year. If the order continues, please let us know.
yeah, for only a 20-yard, for a 20-yard.
Oh, no, that's 255.
And the other's 150, wasn't it?
140.
For a 40-yard. You said 20-yard, right?
Yeah, that's what it says right here. New 20-yard recycle bin with 3 doors on each side must, with a $255 empty price.
You got 3.
That's a little steep for a 20-yarder. Probably because they have to order it, and it's something that they don't have, so that's.
They're gonna recoup their costs right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you change, so should we get 3?
Well, I was expecting something in the 150 range, something competitive, but it's a 20-yarder with Martin.
I hate to do business like this, but I would never back and say, we'd entertain something around 150 to be competitive, that's where you'd have to be, and if you can do that.
But it's not even the same size.
I know.
I don't think it's it's that much disparity, you're looking at 3 times.
Double the size and,
Yeah.
let's just get it, because we got stuff,
Yes.
we got stuff coming on, so we just need to
Yep.
hammer down and get it.
They were given it a chance, I respect your thinking for Martin, but we give them a chance, and that's what they came up with, so.
So that's 3.
How long is this agreement for, is this a year?
This, 5 years, but to be renewed every year, just like our other one with Deckenball. So,
Now, we asked him specifically, because I told you to ask him, like, if we changed, if we moved stuff around, or we dropped one, you said it wasn't an issue to.
it was not an issue to change that, as long as you don't terminate the whole contract.
You know, just review that, it's just a service agreement with.
Is there any fuel surcharge in there?
No, I didn't, because,
Right, see, that's what we're hitting, maybe.
well, there was something about it, but I think it's included in price, somewhere towards the middle of the second page, it mentions something about fuel. But they didn't, put it anywhere, like, they didn't say, here's the threshold, if you exceed that, then you'll pay X amount, so.
Before we commit, you wanna ask all those questions, that this is what's gonna be, no surcharge, no.
Any fee for upgrade, downgrade in size, or, I don't think, because that one is on call. So he originally had 2 times a month for every container. and I told them this, that we're gonna do on-call for at least the first 3 months until we figure out how many times we really do need to dump it. So,
Are these for solid waste or for recycling?
single stream recycling. Or commingled, is the term they use.
And Mike's brought this up several times. If it's costing us more to haul the recycling off and we're not getting that money, why don't you just run it straight through his trash?
We haven't, if we run it through as trash, we don't get any revenue share, which, I guess the simple answer to that is, we need to establish a bottom line. If the commingled price per ton gets below $40, that means our 40% share, I have to do that, it's like $12. It's not worth it, because that takes our $99 a ton down to 87. That's entirely too much. Yeah,
Versus
16 versus the 30, to haul it off, yeah, about 33 overall.
See, their initial proposal basically was, you know, its commodity price stayed the same, it was like 99, and we'd get 42 back, that gets you down in the 50s.
Then how's that gonna look to the public if they're recycling, we bring it out there, we just dump it all in one truck?
That's the image factor, you gotta,
That's where I'd be leery of, or it would be.
And you don't think it's coming out, you don't think anybody's find out of it, that it would come out?
It would come out, and it would be.
We need to make that perfect clear, we're all in this, we're gonna see how it goes, but
we're gonna monitor, that's part of
we're
the
gonna
reason.
monitor and our
Monitor
cost.
the cost,
Yes,
that's.
we're gonna watch our cost and.
We still don't know what the we don't know what the updated numbers are.
I thought I had included.
That's the other thing I told him to inquire about, is like, where are we at with those rates, so.
You mean, reimbursement of
Yeah.
the commodity price?
Yeah, with this, even if it's, with dumping it at our station, it cuts the delivery cost, or, the charge to haul back and forth, plus we're at least getting something back. The other way, we weren't getting anything back and paying.
Well, the average for the three-year period was $78, which means we're getting about $78 puts us at about 32, so it's gonna come up about $60, $60 a ton is what our net would be, so.
Net cost.
Net cost. Our gross cost would be $1,200 a month, on top of the $140 per container. So, it's still gonna cost about the same as RSP. If we can find some tricks to maybe tamp some of the recyclables down, so we only ship it out within 6 weeks, or, that would be best management practices to see if we can.
On the trailer.
On the trailers.
Yeah, you can smash it.
Yeah, because it's coming to us all uncompacted, so if we compact it, it could go down. And if you do a good education piece where you tell people to crush their cans and twist their caps and do all this good stuff, you can really go a long way, so. It pretty much is the same as paying RSP, except we're getting a lot more out of it, and we're getting 40% back, so.
Pat, any problems with it?
I'm thoroughly went through it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It does say they can increase their charge any time, and that's different from what it says on the front.
if we had more time, if we did the RFP process, we would include our sample agreements, something that, I didn't include in the scale bid, which for future reference, we'll do, is include a sample contract that they know what they're agreeing to in principle, so.
I think Chris brought that up.
Mm. Well, he did, the other thing is tabling, when you open your bids, table it for a week and not really do anything other than open it, look at it, table it.
Well, it's always a good idea to check and make sure the I's and dotted, the T's are crossed, and everything's been met, because there always seems to be something in the contract that there's an ambiguous phrase or something in there.
We just look at the numbers on the dollar sign, and we really don't dig into it, but everything's comparable.
Mhm. I will say this, the work that's going on at the scale, I don't know because we have the road bridge department out there too, but people are rushing to get things done. Like,
I take it from where I was after he did this, that he probably should have worked on a little bit lower his price. They're just usually not that easy. Oh, we can do that, we can do this, we can pour that concrete.
well, once we're done here, I'm sending Jim an email to see what the price difference is. Because when I went out there and I asked some of the guys, like, okay, scale house automation, what's the price difference? And, well, that's a Jim question, but it's gonna be a lot. So I think to ask how expensive the individual automation components are. Maybe you can do without the ticket, but you do the stoplights or, because.
Yeah, but won't you still have to have a lot of that to send into that scale house?
Probably the lights, the red light, green light, so that people know when to get on and get off the scale. But the ticketing you may have, the intercom you will have between the scale house and or wherever it is, but.
The only difference I could say is if you handwrite the tickets, I'm not sure we want to do that. You don't want to handwrite tickets. So I can see you have a scale house, you still got to send them signal someplace, and I don't see where we're going to be able to load them.
No, it's just convenient that person there answering questions.
Directing traffic, yeah.
Directing traffic.
And we're gonna have to really, I might just, once we get the concrete poured, or we're just waiting for it to cure, it would probably be good to take one transfer station worker and go get some best management practices from everyone else. See who runs the single pass automated system and then see what everybody else runs, because most everybody around is gonna have either a scale house or somebody at 10 to scale. So
We're going to have to widen that road west of that scale to make it adequate for 2 cars to pass.
There's no reason for 2 cars to pass.
Well, you never know, like a truck.
the two things that they did suggest was put a speed bump as soon as you get in, so that somebody has to slow down before they enter the scale. That was probably a good idea, and then.
I noticed out there, we stand out there in the middle of the road, a lot of people didn't slow down too much, they just run over this side and get right on over the same speed.
So you post the speed, and then you post the speed bump, and if you don't slow down, then, you know.
You get your head.
Yeah, but placing it like 5 to 10 feet before you actually get on the ramp, so that should take care of the speed problem, but.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
It's not one of the changes, it has its set.
I think only the Kansas County Basis on paragraph should be added. I mean, it's part of the contract, whether it's in there or not, but I think it's more honorable to.
Since we got time crunch by Friday, what would you suggest?
Oh, yeah, we have changed. I don't know, you have suggestions, but it's his phone number on here. It's not. Or I could email it to you.
Should be on that.
Let me forward the attachment.
Who's got their main phone number? Is it same?
Oh, it does, yeah.
So far in those changes, there'll be a meeting, I don't know if we'll get it done today, but
Subject to approval.
Subject to approval.
You could adopt it, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I entertain a motion to sign subject to approval due to contract change.
Yeah, I would move that we would, subject to approval with one suggested change, that's all, that we approve the presented contract.
I'll second that. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so,
Are you gonna change that in there, kind of not they can raise it, or is that a canvas, cash based?
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. The front page says that, no price increase for the first 3 years, and then later it says they can change it if the increase is, fuel, disposal, transportation, environmental compliance, CPI, changes
it's
and
a
law.
little vague.
It's really just as many things, so.
Really, this is what's in the.
His phone and fax number,
Yeah, right, I see. You have this as an attachment.
yeah, he was, I think, just forwarded.
Yeah, but it's, yeah.
I'll do that. I'll get that, he also has some instructions, we need to sign the first page where indicated, and also the bottom where indicated, and then roof is listed, scan it back. If we have all that, we should find him tomorrow, have him sign it, get it.
Okay, Paul, you got some for us on Jim?
Oh, I don't have a resolution.
You got it.
Pat's gonna do a resolution, all I had was the payroll status,
Okay.
since he retired, you're bringing him back. And then you're gonna do the resolution.
I'll do the resolution. From now to the end of the year, it's the same salary as he was.
Yeah, and full-time, same salary, right?
Yes.
I don't have his salary, and it's, well, whatever the monthly, or whatever the payroll rate
Yeah.
is, I don't know, but, I mean, I will put that in there, but, and it's effective date September 1st,
Yes.
or whatever. I just
You
need
know,
to-
Okay, I think he did want to add his wife, so there'll be a little change there.
Well, this is
This
wage,
is just wages.
but it's health insurance, yeah, he
We'll have to
wants,
come back then.
he wants to add his wife.
You want all three of us to
Yeah.
sign?
Yeah,
My,
he wants to.
the question is that, well, this is a third, he was making 54, a third of that is 21,000 or something, he can only make 20, is that gonna have an effect on it?
Yeah, he can only make 20 or
His
that
office
jeopardizes his cases.
I mean, he was earning salary for like 2 whole months, so.
Right.
Well,
but
it only
if you put
counts-
it back at his present salary, a certain pay, you know,
But from now to the end of the year, he'll be okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, he won't be.
Even though he was off, he had no salary for 2 whole months.
But it only counts when he comes September, October, November, December, but he'll make close to 30,000.
if he made, well, not quite, it'd be 20-something, but at
He's only
64,000, he's making.
2022, something like that, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He's making
That's what-
5,300 a month, okay,
Yeah.
at 64, okay. September, October, November, December is 4 months, 4 times 50, that puts him at 21,000.
Yeah, how much does Jim make per pay?
4 times 6 is 24.
He's not making 6, he's making 5,600.
Oh, 50, I was just.
5,300 a month, times 4 months, it gets him
21,200.
21,300.
Yeah, which I thought the threshold was 22,000 for some reason.
He mentioned 20,000, I thought.
He said 20,000 is all he made.
Okay.
How much? 2,467.20 per pay period.
That.
Per pay period, okay, thanks, bye. Thursday, so,
I put him under, that's 2,200 a month.
1, 2,
She said 21 or 2 weeks.
3, 4, 5, 6,
His pay.
Yeah, but see, there's an extra,
8 pay periods.
there's at least 24 what?
6,
What is it?
48,
How much was it?
2467,
Times 8?
20,
800, and then you got another 42 times.
48,
19.
53,
$64,127.
18, 21,000.
I had 1970.
20?
There's
Oh, yeah, 16, 19, sorry.
Okay.
2467,
So he's right under, 2467, 20.
You sure there isn't 9 paper, won't be enough to get 9 paper?
Well, there is an extra pay for it this month. So that's gonna be 1327, 11,912. I don't think so, I think it's just 8. The 30th is the third one this month. This one,
There's gotta be, during that 4 months, there's gotta be one extra pay period somewhere because of the length of the year.
No, there's only 8 more.
There's only 8 more?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that puts you at 19,736, is that what you come up with, then, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to put that figure in there, 246720?
Well, okay, we could put that in.
Eric.
Yeah, well, you're right, 246720
Per pay
per
period.
period. And that's it just for the rest of this month, rest of this year.
Yeah, I think we need to include the motion. At first of the year, we are working 2 days a week.
The same rate or?
Well, what's that?
Do we need to do that today with that, or
Huh?
do we need to make that in the same motion today, or?
Can you readjust the salary? I guess you can readjust the salary, can't you? Maybe. As long as he's appointed. you
I'd
adjust
say
the
finish
salary.
out this year, and we got time to see what we're gonna do, and then we can go from there. So if we, part-time.
So we need a resolution, or we just need a...
We do, because by statute, he's appointed for 4 years. And so, we know that he wants to change his salary.
So you're gonna draft up a resolution, is that what you said?
I will.
Okay.
So do you wanna wait until you, or do you just wanna do this? You don't wait till next week?
I think you should wait till you have a
Yeah.
resolution before you actually.
Okay. I should say you discussed, you want me to say you discussed it?
We probably need exec session,
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Is he calling then?
Yeah, it's supposed to. Just call him.
Did you make a motion?
I'll make motion to go to executive
I
session.
second.
Sure.
Non-elected personnel.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
20 minutes?
Yes,
Yes.
4:30,
Huh?
till 4:30.
Okay.
I think I have anything. You don't know if you got any.
Did we ever approve that the new change, we ever get any agreement on the committee of communications?
Communications, no.
We never have got anything.
No, but I don't know that we've sent it out to the city for their review.
Oh, we haven't? I thought there was a suggestion
Yeah,
back from
yeah,
Steve
we did.
Ashton.
We did, yeah, we did.
Did we ever get, we didn't get it finalized, or we didn't?
Well, it hasn't been approved by the board.
Okay.
All the board is approved of that.
Do we need to find out if Wes passed that one class that's required to have? He took it or didn't take it, or,
Which class?
I don't know, Jack Rock.
EMT.
Class that he didn't take.
I think we can ask, we'll find out.
Mm-hmm. He's taking classes for it, I just don't know what, as far as what, how he finished it.
Do we need to put final action on appraiser appointment for agenda?
Well, I thought Pat said we had to have a
Yeah,
resolution.
for not today, I mean for Tuesday, so she's got it on the agenda.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, let's put
You
that
just
on.
remind us.
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Oh,
No, you don't have all that.
September third is, I have a hearing in Leavenworth on my murder case, because he does them on first Tuesday of the month. So September third, I have that hearing at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, as
So
long as
I'll
you have,
talk to Mike Keller if we have, yeah.
yeah, have that worked out ahead of time, and then have our resolution ready for, you can email that to us, and if you're okay with it, then we can, for the appraiser appointments.
Okay. 2 o'clock, at least for the appraiser appointment, yeah, I think it'd be.
I'll have it for you before then.
Okay. We might have time to do that for, if we take to that, should we? Oh, the appraiser appointment.
So,
Yeah, we can do it before. Would you rather do it before 1:15?
it won't take long if he's got it ready.
Yeah, well, let's just put
If he get email, you guys can discuss it in your workshop, and then call the meeting order and act on it, and
Yeah, approve the minutes act on it.
Yeah.
then act on it, and we do it.
Okay.
I got a question, I'm not gonna do that. What if you get a call at 11 o'clock saying we can't make it to your meeting at 1 o'clock or 3:30?
Well, from Stellars.
Well, you're in, you should probably be in executive session to talk about that.
That's true, that's true. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Well, you wouldn't really want them to watch the meeting and see.
Oh, I could set this up.
Maybe they should say.
Executive session, terminating the meeting.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
No, no, no. So are you adjourning?
I move we adjourn at 4:50.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.